Welcome back, everybody. You're watching Mike Hunt's YouTube channel. Today, got a great video for you. All right, I got to get out of character. It's my other life. So this is the bed of my truck. I sleep in here quite often, and things have changed. I won't be sleeping in here alone. My son's going to be coming with me. So I've got to rebuild this truck bed camper setup. I've tried a few different setups in the past that you can see by watching my old videos. At one point in time I had a big shelf that went across here where I could put all my gear on and I could sleep underneath it. But then I introduced my electric bikes to the whole camping situation. And then I put a big shelf from here, this whole half side with a leg that folded down so gear could go on top and gear could go underneath. The bikes, two bikes, slid in through here, and I'd pull the bikes out and sleep on this section. So here's the plan. I've got to have a bed here, a raised bed. Underneath that bed is going to be storage. Right here is going to be a big pancake air compressor that I've completely taken apart to mount low. I got to get a chainsaw, I got to get a winch, I got to get other recovery gear, I got to get my hatchet and all my other stuff on this half underneath. Don't want to get too high. That's going to bring us up to right about just above the wheel well. This section here still needs to be reserved for 2 electric mountain bikes. A lot of times I'm pulling a camper, so I can't put them on the back. I do have a receiver in the front of the truck, so I could put these bikes on the front of the truck, which I have done and have driven far distances. But I don't really want to do that too often. I like keeping them safe and secure, clean, away from the elements inside the truck. There's another section to this build. It's going to be right here. I got to have a countertop that I'm going to cook on. And right here, it's going to be a big water jug. And I don't know what else. There's going to be shelves and cubbies, all sorts of things built into this side. This is where all the stuff I'm going to use on a daily basis goes. Underneath here is pretty much all recovery gear. I'll be using the air compressor every time I go off-roading because you have to air down these, what are these, F-rated, E-rated? F or E-rated tires. They're hard as a rock, especially when you're towing. You tow your camper way up to the middle of nowhere, Wyoming, you got to have full air pressure in your tires to do the towing. But then you're going to go off-roading for a week, you got to air those tires way down. So I use the air compressor quite a bit. Everything's going to be made out of 1/2-inch birch plywood. I believe it was $70 a sheet. I bought 3 sheets. So the bed's going to be 30 inches wide. That's going to take 2 sheets right there for the top and the bottom of this compartment here. And I hope to have enough left over to do the side panel and dividers for 2. And this one here is going to take another piece of plywood, and I still may need to get another one because there's going to be a raised bed here. So if you have it flipped down, we'll call it, it's going to have the mounts for the mountain bikes. Then if I want to turn it into double bed, when my son comes with me, I'll flip it over, putting it here to give us a 60-inch wide bed for 2 air mattresses. The first step is to make the bottom. Gonna be a lot of bouncy things on this, especially that winch that's gonna sit right around here. So I needed a good strong bottom so I don't wear through the bed rug. This is my little scribe stick. I've already drawn a square line of the length, and I wanna create the least amount of waste as possible to reuse in other locations. So my scribe stick is just long enough. Just long enough so that on the most deepest part, it should come right to the edge. So this is how it works. here we are. The floor was a perfect fit, and these are the items that are going to be underneath the sleeping platform. We got the air compressor. I should have made a video on how I disassembled this and made it low profile. With the piece of plywood it's mounted to, I believe it's 10 inches tall. So that's going to live up here permanently. I'm going to have a little cubby, a little hole right here in this front wall that I can reach in and just turn it on and off. I'll go over the electrical system in a future video. I've done it many times in my past videos, but once this is all put together and we're out in the wilderness, I'll give you an update. I'll do an update video and show you how everything works. This is my winch. It's on a receiver, so I can plug this in to the back of the truck or the front of the truck. I've got everything wired for plug and play to the front bumper and to the rear bumper. Most likely this will never be used. I will have to do some mounting in here. So once we get further on in the build, I'm going to have to put some blocks in here and maybe somehow strap this sucker down. It's probably what I'll end up doing, is putting an eye hook through the bottom of both sides and maybe even a turnbuckle on each handle here so I can screw those down so that this thing doesn't go anywhere. So we got kinetic rope here. Over here we have all the snatch block, tree saver, receiver, increaser, reducer type deal, and jumper cables. Most likely that's not going to be used very often, if ever. That's why it's going to sit over there. Now this first compartment right here, I may or may not use this bin. What I'll probably do is build a divider in here, because this is going to be my go-to gadgets. Got the official original caulk gun hat. Can't turn it off, guys. Got a hatchet, shovel, binoculars, gloves, little thingy-majiggers, lots of stuff. Binoculars. You can see there's plenty of room for more gadgets in this front bin here. So that's the general layout of what goes underneath the bed. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of room right here. Perfect size for a chainsaw to go here. If you're wondering why this carpet keeps flopping down over here, I just don't have the Velcro up. It'll get held up in position once everything is in here. So it's time to screw and glue the base together. That'll be, the floor and all the walls. And we're doing that with pocket holes and tight bond too. Here's a little update. I'm going to explain what all this stuff does here. Maybe now, maybe later. But this here is for another filler piece, call it, that's going to go between this box and the next box that's going up against the other side of the bed. That will create a complete flat surface so that I can still get 4x8 sheets of plywood and drywall in here. And it'll also create a huge bed if I were to ever need that. This here is the piano hinge. I'm going to be installing it backwards. You can get an idea of the angle that that'll open. So it's going to drop down just like that and sit real flush. Don't want it sticking up because I'm going to have some sort of mattress on top of this. And I'm thinking of trying to put carpet on here too, somehow. Right ahead. Just like that. Still need to put the center divider in this one. Sleep right here tonight. Just doing a quick update. Making this box right here. This is the side that's going to go up into here. This is one of the partition walls that I just made. This one goes behind that wheel well, and I'll make another one that goes here. And then there'll be a shelf across the top. This side's all done for now. There's my stove that I'll may or may not be using. This is just loosely placed in here for now as I'm just trying to get all these things to line up. What's interesting is the bed gets, I believe, larger as it goes to the back, and the bed gets wider at the back. But I want you outside so you don't breathe this in. Yeah.
What's this called?
That is a big piece of ductwork.
Oh.
Let me sand this. Stand there over there where I can see you in the grass. Go around that wheel. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. So this is the full setup, the full camper build out. I actually completed the build in June, very beginning of June 2022. It's now Thanksgiving. Lost most of the build video, but I think I put enough in to give you an idea how I built it. The most important thing, how is it set up and has it worked, and what would I change? I wouldn't change anything. It's perfect. Some wires that go through the window here, I can change that. We got 110 that goes to the air compressor. This thing has been a lifesaver over and over. I've also got 110 that goes to a power strip right here. I do have 12 volts that goes to my water jug and water pump. I took that out because it was frozen solid. Of how I have water to this back corner here with the flip of a switch, it works amazing. There's a stove, recovery gear. Got a big rope down in there, more straps. My shovel, I think my hatchet's inside. I was chopping firewood for the house. That's a spotting scope right there. I always have my spotting scope, an extra set of binoculars, everything I need. Here's the winch. This is a 12,000 pound winch. I don't anticipate using this for any sort of rock crawling events. This is just to pull me out of the mud or pull me out of the snow. So if I slide off the road into a snowdrift, I can plug that in to the front receiver or the rear receiver and pull myself out. It's not for doing anything crazy. Right in here is the air compressor. There's the air compressor setup. You can see this motor used to be mounted on top of there, and I did some modifications to it, and it has been a lifesaver. Over here we have got one deep cubby that goes way down in there. You can't really see. This here has just kind of random storage from the season. We got a couple mountain houses in there. This is for the bike rack. An old Gatorade bottle. Some wet wipes. There'll be more videos coming out of me actually using this, but this is the first video, the build video. You get a ton of storage underneath here. You can shove a whole bunch of gun cases underneath there. Goes way under. My kids crawl under there and play. So when my 3-year-old comes with me, there's plenty of room. He sleeps there, I sleep here. Can still get to all these cubby holes right here. This is like a nice shelf. You can put sandwiches and food and whatnot up here. So far, I can't think of anything that I would change. If I wasn't afraid of looking like an old man, I would have gotten the truck cap topper thing that has a little bit of a rise to it. But I already have a roof rack with solar and an antenna and an awning, and I can just barely fit into the airport covered parking, just under 8 feet. So if I had another bump up of 4 inches, I wouldn't be able to get into the airport parking. So that's the end of today's video. I know it's been a while since I've been uploading, but I got 2 other YouTube channels that take most of my time. But I will be working on getting all this summer's videos out, these past hunting seasons out, and hopefully I'll get this out into the mountains this winter. And I got to come up with a heating solution. I have a diesel heater. I do not want to drill any holes in the bed of this, so I'm still coming up with some way to get heat in here. It may be something modifying one of these windows where I put the diesel heater outside and just have it vented in through a window. Not quite sure yet. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.